Hi everyone, so in today's read aloud we're going to read this short picture book called Stand Tall, Molly Lou Melon, written by Patty Lovell, illustrated by David Catrow. This is probably one of my favorite picture books. I think it's a really cute story, and it's kind of relatable for people, especially because, we're all different, and to accept our differences, and sometimes what's different about us makes us really great. So what I'm going to ask you to do sometimes in this video is to pause the video while I'm reading it so that you can answer some questions in the slide while we're going through the book. So here we go. Molly the Melon stood just taller than her dog and was the shortest girl in the first grade. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Walk as proudly as you can and the world will look up to you." So she did. Molly Lou Melon had buck teeth that stuck out so far she could stack pennies on them. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Smile big, and the world will smile right alongside you." That's some nice advice Grandma gives her. So she did, and that is quite a big smile. Molly Lou Melon had a voice that sounded like a bullfrog being squeezed by a boa constrictor. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Sing out clear and strong, and the world will cry tears of joy." It sounds like Grandma's giving her some really nice advice about being confident no matter what. So she did. Molly Lou Melon was often fumble-fingered, so that means she was kind of clumsy. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Believe in yourself, and the world will believe in you too." So she did. So at this point of the story, I'm going to have you pause the video for a second, and I want you to answer that first question in the slide, which is, why do you think Molly listens to her grandma's advice about accepting herself the way she is? Because you'll notice that she often says, "So she did." So she's always listening to her grandma. Why do you think that she listens to grandma's advice? So you should have paused the video, hopefully, to answer that question, and we're going to keep reading this story. All right. Then Molly Lou Melon moved to a new town. She had to say goodbye to her grandma and all of her friends. So that might be kind of difficult. So I want you to pause the video again and answer the question, do you think that being at a new school is going to be difficult for Molly? Why do you think it might be difficult for her? So make sure you pause the video. All right, so you should have paused the video to answer that question, and we're going to keep reading. So it was, she had to say goodbye to her grandma and all her friends and start a new school. On the first day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Shrimpo in gym class. When the game started, Molly Lou Melon caught the football, ran under the legs of Ronald Durkin, and scored a touchdown. All the children thought, "Wow, she's good." And Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. So it sounds like this Ronald Durkin person is not very kind, but it seems like her confidence helped her out anyway. On the second day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Bucky Tooth Beaver. Molly Lou Melon took out her pennies, stacked 10 high on her teeth, and smiled as big as day. All the children smiled with glee, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. Looks like she showed him again. On the third day of school, Ronald Durkin said, "You sound like a sick duck. Honk, honk." Molly Lou Melon sang out a quack so clear and strong that it made Ronald Durkin somersault backwards, hit his head, and have to go to the nurse. All the children cried with joy to be free of Ronald Durkin for the rest of the afternoon, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. On the fourth day of school, Ronald Durkin said that she made the snowflake all wrong. But Molly Lou Melon opened up her paper and revealed the most beautiful snowflake of all. All the children oohed and ahed, even Ronald. So I'm going to have you pause the video again so that you can answer the next question, which is, why do you think Ronald teases Molly? Why do you think he teases her? So go ahead and answer that question. All right, so you should have paused that video to answer that question. We're going to keep reading. All right. Oh, I see some smiles happening in the picture, so maybe he's changing his way. Let's see. On the fifth day of school, Ronald Durkin brought Molly Lou Melon a stacking penny for her tooth and smiled at her. Huh, that's interesting. So actually, before I read the last page, you guys can pause the video again and answer that last question. Why do you think Ronald now is being nice to Molly at the end of this story? So why is he all of a sudden being kind? He's offering her a penny, he's smiling. Why did he change his ways? Why do you think? So you're answering that in the slide. And then our last page in the story. That night, Molly Lou Melon took out a pencil and paper and wrote a letter to her grandma. Dear Grandma, I wanted to tell you that everything you told me was exactly right. Love, Molly Lou Melon. And there's her grandma reading her letter. Oh, nice. And you notice too, the grandma kind of even looks like an older version of Molly Lou Melon. So maybe she had to put up with some of that stuff too of being teased, but she taught little Molly Lou Melon how she can be confident even if she is a little different. So I hope that you guys like this story and make sure you answered those questions because I would like to check them to see how you understood the story. All right, so I will talk to you guys later.